The hour of 8 o'clock having arrived, I call the Transportation Committee to order. We have 3 members of the committee and Chairman Metzger joining us this morning. So we do have a quorum, myself, Member Knapp, and Member Abel. Let's see. Number 2, consent agenda, approval of minutes, March 5, 2024 regular meeting, and recommend approval of bills to the county of $670,336.48. Do I have a motion? Motion by Member Abel. Do I have a second? Second by Member Knapp. Do we have any questions? I have one, Mr. Stokes. Can you just inform us what all the expenses for Compass Minerals America Inc. is for, just so that we have?
Sure, that's our salt supplier that we get. So we didn't use a whole lot of salt, but we did use some, and so we contract so much out, and we have to take 80% of what we contract to do, and that'll come up here later on in the agenda. But that's where we get our salt from.
Great, thanks. All right, anybody have any other questions? No? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. We'll add Member Reeves to the roll. All right, do we have any appearances by members of the public or county employees?
Chair Rogal, we've had no requests for members to speak this morning.
All are welcome if anybody would ever like to come and visit us. Number 4, department matters. Mr. Stokes. 4A1, request approval of a resolution for the March 20, 2024 project and material letting. Do I have a motion? Motion by Member Reeves, second by Member Abel. Mr. Stokes.
So this is our yearly annual oil and chip letting that we do for the highway department and for the townships. So reseals the cover seals the township roads and some of the county roads, and some of the county roads are they're part of the oil and chip program, but they also it's part of the pavement preservation. And so so that was 3 of the projects, and then we had another project that we're doing on the South Downs Road where we're going to pulverize that road and add some gravel to it, and kind of that. I think I brought that a couple months ago. That's showing some wear. And then there's a project in West Township that's a gravel road that he wants to make into an oil and chip road. So Bennett's Construction was the only bidder on all 5 of these projects. We reached out. There's another bidder in Woodford County. We reached out, told him that we were bidding, and he just didn't get on the list. I don't know if he's busy with other work or what, but we tried to get him on there, and he just didn't. So so Bennett's, they've done our work probably the last 4 or 5 years, this type of work, and it's mainly what the townships spend their motor fuel tax money on, and so so this is the amounts for 2024.
Does anyone have any questions? Chairman Metzger?
In West Township, I'm assuming, how long is that road? For $172,000, that must not be a very long road.
Yeah, it's like less than half a mile. It's just kind of connecting a road that's oil and chip, and then he's just going to pulverize it, put gravel on that, and then put a new oil and chip surface on it.
And is that one of the last gravel roads in the county?
No, he's got a few more yet, and I think he's just trying to slowly get them all up to an oil and chip stuff. But there are a few more hanging out there besides that. I don't know the amount of mileage, but there is some.
And most likely there aren't houses or anything on those roads.
That's correct,
Those are just
right.
being used for agricultural traffic?
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. The request approval of the resolution for March 20th, 2024 project material letting was approved. Next up, we have 4A2, request approval of resolution for the March 26th, 2024 project letting. Do I have a motion? Motion by Member Abel, second by Member Reeves.
This is a township bridge project in Yates Township that we're going to do this year. It's basically just going to be a single barrel box culvert that's 20 foot wide, and I think it's about 8 foot tall. And so Stark Excavating was the low bidder on this project, and should be a fairly straightforward project once they get going on it.
Do we have any questions? All right. All those in favor of the request approval of a resolution for the March 26, 2024 project letting, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The ayes have it, and the request is approved. 4A3, request approval of an engineering service agreement with Hampton Lenzini and Renwick for the Copadice Bridge, Section 23-05129-00-BR, Bloomington Road District. Can I have a motion? Motion by member Abel, second by member Knapp. Stokes?
So this is an engineering agreement with HLR to replace the bridge on Capodice Road. This bridge was built in 1966, and it's got a lot of issues with it. I actually have some pictures here. The main issue is in the deck. So this is kind of looking towards the south. And we've actually did a patching job on this about 15 years ago. And you can see all the patches that we've done on it. Well, these patches are actually starting to fail too. There's so the concrete's delaminating, and even the area around the patches are delaminating. And so this is an integral deck, so we can't just replace the deck. So we got to basically replace the whole bridge, and then it's got some issues underneath the bridge. And so so the new bridge will eliminate this curb, and it'll be 28 foot wide. And so it'll be a self-cleaning deck is what we call it. And so this will be a township bridge funded project where the TBP program pays 80%, and then the township and the county are on the hook for the remaining 10%.
Do we have any questions? Member Reeves?
The integral deck, can you explain that?
Yeah, let me.
And then how that varies from the new design with the self-cleaning deck?
Well, the integral deck has to do with underneath, and I didn't really take a picture underneath, I don't think. I'm trying to decide if, I don't think any of these other pictures have that. I could pull one up here real quick if you bear with me. Or actually, man, no, that's not. So, like on a steel beam, like a lot of our county bridges are steel beam bridges. And so the deck just sits right on top of the beams. And so this deck is all tied, the pier caps and everything are all tied together that sit on top of the piling. So you can't take out the caps on the piles without taking the whole thing off. So it just needs to be, basically needs to be replaced.
Any other questions? Member Knapp?
Like to know how it's gonna impact traffic.
Oh,
Place bridge nearby.
So this is Capodice Road, so it kind of connects Old Colonial Road to Woodrick Road. So there are ways around. It's going to be a few miles out of the way, and it'll probably take 3 to 4 months to construct. So we'll have it closed down throughout that time.
Chairman Metzger?
How are you communicating that to people that live in Crestwick, for instance? Because that's probably your biggest subdivision, I think. Is there a methodology that we can go to their homeowners association or the Crestwick Country Club and give them a heads up on this?
Yeah, we probably can give something to the homeowners association before the project starts. We'll put message boards out and notices out for that type of thing. But yeah, I mean it. There's other way. The traffic from Crestwick's probably going to have to use Route 51 instead of coming in on this particular route. But yeah, there is a fair amount of traffic on this road, and that's another reason kind of for wanting to do this particular project. But yeah, we can definitely reach out to the homeowners when we get closer to construction. This is probably more of a 26 project. It's probably going to take a good year to design it, and that's we might be able to build it in 2025, and that's just if we don't run into any environmental issues as we go along here.
Any other questions, Member Reeves?
Anybody coming from the east that might go down Township Road 1750 before it gets to County Road or 1025, like I think we call that Long Lane Road, that has an
Yes.
abundance of traffic and bleeding problems through the summer. Is that gonna be detrimental to the road that's already high traffic? Or are you gonna reach out to them and try and alleviate any more pressure on that already high traffic road?
Oh, so you're talking about Old Colonial and Long Lane they're going through there. You know, we had the bridge on Gillum Road closed a few years ago, and that was when the Long Lane's seen a lot of traffic from that, and then everything held up well over that span of the 3 to 4 month time frame. So we'd probably work with the road commissioner if there's something that needs to be done. We would help them out on that point if the traffic did tear up something on the road. Right, right. You know, sometimes what we do is if it is bleeding, we'll provide additional chipping for them to go out there to chip with, or we'll chip it for them if we need to, depending on what they're doing and how hot it is.
Any other questions? No? All those in favor of request approval of an engineering service agreement with HLR for the Capodice Bridge Road Project, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. And the request is approved. 4A4, request approval of an engineering service agreement with HLR for the School Land Bridge, Section 24-31139-00-BR, Yates Road District. Can I get a motion? Motion by member Abel, second by member Reeves. Mr. Stokes?
So this is a bridge in Yates Township on 2900 North, a little bit south and east of Chenoa. And so the actual bridge and the structure itself is in really good shape. I got a few pictures here. It's kind of looking towards, looking east. And so the concrete and everything is in fairly good shape. The issue we have is these timber abutments that are underneath there, and the erosion that it's causing, and then it's causing the road to settle. And so on this particular bridge, we're not going to do a replacement. We're going to do a sheet pile repair and basically take out those abutments and put in sheet pile and riprap along here to line this channel and prevent any additional erosion that's occurring. Because there's really, when we go out and rate these, like I said, we go out every 2 to 4 years and rate these, and so that it's on a scale, and 8's the best. And so most of the components on the super and the sub structure and the deck are all 7s. And so we feel that we just need to take care of the abutments on this one here. And so so that's what this project will do, and we'll put this out for bid. So this might be a project that we do in 2025. So there's kind of another picture of it. So any questions on that one?
Member Reeves?
Can you go back one slide? Does that have the guardrails? What's going on here? Was that the old bridge, or is that a weir for water containment?
That's an old bridge that was there.
So you just moved it over?
Yeah. Or it might have been something that the landowner used privately at one time that made himself. But yeah, that's the.
And I forgot to ask on this and the other bridge, the anti-scouring stuff that we put in retrofitted on all new bridges, you're incorporating that into that, right?
Yes.
Any other questions? No. All those in favor of request approval of an engineering service agreement with HLR for the School Land Bridge Yates Road District project, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the request is approved. 4A5, request approval of motor fuel tax resolution and matching fund resolution for Pipeline Road, CH 31, section 24-00073-12-SC. I have a motion. Motion by member Knapp, second by member Abel. Mr. Stokes?
So this is a pavement preservation project that we have planned for Pipeline Road that kind of just north of Z-Barth up to Ron Smith. The road was last resurfaced in, the south section was in 2010. I believe the north section was 2011. And starting to show some raveling and some cracking in there a little bit earlier than what we like. So thought this would be a good way to seal it up. And so this is a Cape Seal project, and we haven't done a Cape Seal project At least the county hasn't. So this will, what we'll do is we'll go in and put a regular oil and chip aggregate lift on this, and then we'll come back with a microsurfacing slurry mix on top of this oil and chip. We've done on other pavement preservations, we've done like microsurface, like 2 passes of microsurfacing. And then we've also done the oil and chip portion of it where we've done that and then put a fog seal over it. So we're trying this the idea is that the oil and chip layer is supposed to get down in the cracks better, seal those up, and then the microsurfacing will seal the oil and chip layer up to prevent water from penetrating down in there. And so this is supposed to be a little bit cheaper than doing a 2-pass micro surface on there on these type of projects. So we're going to try this on this road and see what happens.
Any questions?
Can I ask, how far out Pipeline Road this is?
So this is just north of where normal they probably have part of that road like a mile coming like on North Veterans. So once you get past the interstate, they have like a mile or two, and then so we picked right there at Z-Barth, and then it goes like 4.5 miles up to Ron Smith Highway.
Okay, how far is that? I don't know where.
It's like 4.5 miles from normal to just straight north.
And is that a test to see how it performs for other applications countywide? You mentioned the,
It could be. I mean, like I said, I think it just depends on the type of road and what kind of cracks and deterioration we have on those particular roads on what to do. But we thought this would be a good application for it.
yeah, thanks.
Member Reeves?
To pick up on what Randy said, how do you, in the future, go back and say, okay, that was worth the money versus this? And what time frame do you expect this to satisfy the need?
So, so typically when we're designing a hot mix road, we're looking to try to get 20-year design life out of that. Sometimes we get more depending on the traffic. Sometimes it's less, like let's say a Tawana Barnes Road where the traffic's high and there's a lot of issues there. So what I'm hoping to get out of this particular pavement preservation is 6 to 8 years to get us close to that 20-year mark the last time it was resurfaced. So that's my goal out of this. As far as what works better, sometimes it comes down to economics, and the location. This is a pretty high traffic road compared to some other roads that we've done microsurfacing on. So I'm going to be interested to see how it performs and how it holds up and that type of thing.
Anyone else? All right. All those in favor of request approval of the motor fuel tax resolution and matching fund resolution for Pipeline Road, say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. 4A6, request approval of motor fuel tax resolution and matching fund resolution for Pipeline Road, CH 31, section 19-00192-00-RS. Do I have a motion? Motion by member Reeves, second by member Abel. Mr. Stokes?
So this project just picks up right where the previous project, where that one ends. This picks up and goes north on the west side of Lake Bloomington, and it'll go in front of the New Green Gables and up towards the spillway there. And so this is going to be a actual resurfacing project, basically a mill and fill project with some shoulder. We're going to put hot mix shoulders on this stretch as well to kind of connect all the way around the lake. There's a hairpin curve there just south of the Gables. We're going to kind of realign that a little bit to smooth that out so we don't have such an abrupt turn there. And so this road was last done in 1996. So this is a road that we've almost gotten 30 years out of that we haven't had to do anything with except maybe some crack filling. So it's time for this one to be resurfaced, and so we're planning on doing this later this fall. We're finishing the plans now, so we're thinking like an August to November time frame for this project.
Anyone have any questions? Member Reeves?
With real estate at a premium around Lake Bloomington, are you gonna have to buy any additional right-of-way to rectify that hairpin turn you were talking about, or do we already own that?
We did, it's just one landowner right there that we're gonna affect, and we did, buy right away from the individuals that live in that area. We're not going too crazy, going up by his house or anything, but we're just trying to smooth it out. I think, it's a 150-foot radius, 125-foot radius compared to the non-existent radius that we have there now. So we are encroached on him a little bit, but not a lot, not as much as you would think.
Anyone else? No? All those in favor of the request approval of the motor fuel tax resolution and matching fund resolution for Pipeline Road, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The request is approved. 4A7, request approval of a bridge construction petition for joint culvert replacement number 1 for Bloomington Road District. Can I have a motion? Motion by member Knapp, second by member Reeves. Mr.
So this is a township bridge, or not a township bridge, but a township project that we're gonna do for Bloomington Road District to replace a culvert here on 1600, just north of Crestwick here. And this is it's got two culverts that are they're kind of spaced a little bit far apart, and we're gonna take both those out and combine those into one, and then do some ditch work on the east ditch there. So the total project cost is $17,000, and so this qualifies. Usually Bloomington doesn't qualify for a lot of joint culverts because their EAV is so high, but this one actually does, since it does involve quite a bit of work with the two culvert locations. So we're proposing a 36-inch across the road, and then a 24-inch in the ditch. So we'll probably try to get this done sometime this summer.
Do we have any questions? No? All right, all those in favor of the request approval of a bridge construction petition for joint culvert replacement number 1 for Bloomington Road District, say aye. Opposed, nay. And the request is approved. 4A8, request approval of a resolution authorizing county engineer to enter into participation agreements with the state of Illinois and approved certificate of authority by vote. Kind of a motion? Motion by member Reeves, second by member Abel. Mr. Stokes?
So the Central Management Services, they I guess work for IDOT, and they take care of all the procurements for different commodities that we buy, salt, paint, and traffic beads and that type of stuff. And so usually what they do is they send out an email, and we put all the information in there, and basically we have to tell them. And they send this out in March, and we have to tell them how much salt we want for the following winter. And so we try to see how much we've had, or see how much room we had, how much storage we have, and how much salt we've used on the previous winter, and try to figure that out. With the winters being mild the last couple of years, I think there must have been some other municipalities or other local agencies that maybe have not fulfilled if they are required to take 80 or 100% of their contract, they're not fulfilling that. So the CMMS had put this out, and they wanted this done like in 2 weeks to have this certificate of authority approved, to allows the county engineer to sign off on how much salt that we're going to need, and basically kind of enter into that contract. And so, but the County Engineer Association we asked for an extension so we could go because a lot of them was going to have to go through our board process to get this approved. And so, basically it's a certificate of authority. I added the joint resolution in here to allow for these type of contracts to be submitted based on what our need for the following years. So right now it only applies to salt. I don't know if it's going to go over to paint and that type of stuff. I assume it probably will, but so hopefully this will be covered. And so this is what they're requiring moving forward for us to order salt for next year. And so last year, we had a really mild winter too, and I ordered like 2,500 tons, and so we had to take 18% of that, or 80% of that. So luckily, we were able to store most of that, or we actually ended up last year, I'm sorry, had 2,200 tons on the ground. And so I ordered 2,200 tons thinking we would use all that, and we did, and we were able to store it. But so going into next year, I'll have 900 tons that'll be basically on the ground and not under storage. So we're gaining on it. So I'm trying to figure out where we're going to be at next year. I'll probably drop that down another 500 tons. But one of these years we're going to get hit with a bad winter, and we're going to need every bit. But this still allows us to do the 80%, which helps. And then if it is a bad winter, we can actually go up to 120%. So 20% over our requested quantity, basically.
Questions? Member Reeves?
So if you have to go to 120%, is that at the contract price, or is there a premium because everybody needs it? How does that work?
No, it's at the contract price. So that price is established by CMS, and it varies on where it's going. Even within the county, it kind of varies by a few dollars here and there. Town of Normal or City of Bloomington, they might be a couple dollars difference just based on the mileage there. But no, that price is set. Usually the contract is like from August to July. So we would have until the following, I think till July 1st to take all the salt that we needed to for the previous year. And so,
What's been the price differential from year to year the last 3 years?
Well, it has varied quite a bit. I mean, we're paying $88 this year. I think the year before that was around 80, and maybe the year before that was like 60. I mean, it just varies depending on the supply and demand and where it's coming from and that type of thing. So, and it depends on who gets it. We're Compass Materials are our supplier this year. We've had Cargill in the past. I think there was one other one. I can't remember the name of them. So it just kind of depends on who gets the bid and where it's coming from. Because sometimes, I think a couple years ago, Cargill had ours, and it was coming from like Henry. And right now, I think it all comes from Peoria. So I don't know how they determine that, or if when during the bidding process.
What's the maximum number of tons that we can store? You said we use 2,200.
Yeah, so we have storage for around 5,000. And so a normal winter that we pretty much would use 5,000 tons or so. That we would use everything what we try to do is go into the next winter being full. And then we usually, a normal winter, we would use all 5,000 tons and then replenish that as needed. The problem when we have bad winters is everybody's needing salt at the same time. And so, the contractor requires them to start delivering like within a week of when we order it, which is fine, but sometimes they might only put like 2 or 3 trucks on it. And if we're ordering 1,000 tons at a time, that tends to take a while. So it's just kind of the game.
One last question. So our current inventory is 900 tons?
No, our current inventory is about 6,000.
Oh, you've got that much on top.
Yeah,
All right.
that's what I meant. 900 tons. It's not in storage.
I got you.
The previous year, we had 2,200 that was not in storage. So we actually used more during the 23-24 winter than we did in the 22-23 winter.
And when you say storage, our storage, or you're paying someone else to store it?
Our storage. Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Anyone else?
Yes, the 5,000 tons is under roof. Yes, and so we have. Yeah, we did tarp. We had the 2,200 tons on the ground last year, and we did buy a cheap tarp to just keep it out of the elements as long as we could.
Is that scattered site? Yeah, sorry about that. Is that scattered site through the county?
Can you repeat the whole question so it can get on?
I forgot my whole question.
Whether it's
I was curious about being under tarp and if it's scattered site throughout the county.
Yeah, so the 5,000 tons is under tarp. It's in 2 locations. It's at our office location on Tawana Barnes Road, and that we have the capacity of storing 3,000 tons there. And then we have another facility on Route 9 where we can store another 2,000 tons. We have 2 what we call hoop buildings that store 1,000 tons each. And so once once we clear out a couple bays at our office facility, what we'll do is we'll just transport the salt from our place at Route 9 to Tawanda Barnes, and that way it's all there, and our loaders are there, and when they come in, it's all ready to go.
Anything else?
Thank you.
All those in favor of the request approval of a resolution authorizing county engineer to enter into participation agreements with the state of Illinois and approve certificate of authority by a vote, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The request is approved. 4A9, request approval of an engineering services agreement with TWM Inc. for historic Route 66 bike trail, section 24-00001-07-BT. Can I have a motion? Motion by member Reeves, second by member Abel. Mr. Stokes?
So this is a kind of a project to continue the Route 66 bike trail up around Lexington. So it goes about a mile north and a mile south of Lexington, or connects to the trail that Lexington already has built. And this is part of the Department Economic and Opportunity Grant, Commerce and Economic Opportunity Grant that the county received. So we received a total of $600,000, and part of that was that grant is to cover the engineering, which we sent out a request for proposals to provide the engineering services on that, and I think we sent out to 6 firms. We received four back, and so we evaluated each proposal and picked TWM to complete this work for us. So this will start the engineering project. Or start the engineering. Hopefully, we'll have it done by next spring, and we can put this project and try to get a bid here in 2025. Fairly straightforward project. Most of the project is a mill and fill of the existing road and alignment. There are some areas where it connects to some side roads that we have to do, and then there'll be a parking area that we're going to build on the north side of Lexington. That'll be permanent. There'll also be one on the south side, but that's just going to be temporary. It'll be aggregate until we build the section, a trail from Tawanda to where we're leaving off here, a couple miles south of Lexington.
Do we have any questions? Member Reeves?
The $600,000 grant, is that just for engineering, or?
No, the $600,000. We're thinking this is going to cost around $500,000 to $550,000. The engineering is $75,000, and so that's and so that'll just cover the preliminary and design engineering, and then we'll probably use in-house staff to do the construction inspection of it.
Anyone else? All those in favor of the request approval of a engineering services agreement with TWM Inc. for historic Route 66 bike trails, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the request is approved. 4A10, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2024 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance for McLean County Highway Fund 0120. Can I have a motion? Motion by member Abel, second by member Reeves. Mr. Stokes?
So this is a budget amendment to allow for the previous engineering agreement to be put in the highway department's budget. And so the engineering agreement was for $75,000, and we did the budget amendment for $70,000. I think most of the work's going to occur in 2024, but there probably could be a couple months worth of work in 2025. And so this puts it in our budget to complete this project for on the revenue and the expense side.
Do we have any questions? Seeing none. All those in favor of a request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2024 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance for the McLean County Highway Department, say aye. Opposed, nay. And the request is approved. 4A11, request approval of an engineering service agreement with Hutchinson Engineering, Inc. for the UNRA Bridge, Section 24-22141-00-BR Martin Road District. Can I have a motion? Motion by member Reeves, second by member Knapp. Mr. Stokes?
So I got a couple pictures of this project, or this bridge as well. So this is was built in 1960, so it's a little older. There has been some repair done to this bridge, but it's starting this is where another one that we feel like it need to replace, and so we're going to use township bridge money to replace this. So this will be another 80-10-10 split on this project. So this is in Martin Township, just a mile north of Route 9, and kind of the same deal here with these wooden abutments that are starting to fail, and you can see all the dirt down here sloughing off, and and there's some other rebar and stuff that's exposed on that, and so we're planning this for 25 or 26 time frame as well. It kind of just depends on all these projects, trying to just get them out and see which one they get designed first and which one clears all the environmental clearances and that type of thing. Yeah, any questions on this particular project?
Member Reeves?
Not specifically the project, but south of there on 3400, the chairman was asking about gravel roads. That road, the culvert's been out for 10 years. Why is that allowed to be like that, and will that impede the traffic around this? I realize it's not a high traffic road because nobody can go down it.
Right. Yeah, I remember, yeah, that bridge got closed down. I'm not sure what the history behind why that was never put back on 3400 there. Yeah, I know where you're talking, and yeah, I don't know why that bridge has never been put back in place.
Chairman Metzger?
The county has no jurisdiction over the township decision not to replace a culvert. Is that accurate?
That's correct. I think it was a dirt road at one time, and then the bridge washed away, and so then I don't think the road was ever going to be upgraded, so it probably made sense not to have the bridge upgraded unless the whole road was going to be done.
May I ask Member Reeves a question? If this bridge is taken out, then that road that you're referencing would be needed because if it's dirt road, it probably wouldn't see a lot of use. Is that?
It's gravel, for just clarification, but no, it doesn't. I was just inquiring because of the location.
Sure.
Anything else? No? All those in favor of the request approval of an engineering services agreement with Hutchinson Engineering for the Ulen Bridge Martin Road District, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. And the request is approved. 4B, items to be presented for information. Mr. Stokes?
So I got a couple of project summaries here on some projects that we've already got started. So I have some pictures. So the first one's the Baker Bridge project. They started this right here at the 1st of March. And so this is the deck replacement project. And so so this one, we ran into some environmental issues early on in the design, back when I think we started this design in 2020. And we had, I think this was the mud puppies. So we had to do some mitigation with the mud puppies. And so the contractor went in, one of the requirements, mitigation requirements, was to, if we weren't to put riprap in there, it had to be done before April 30th. And so so the contractor went in there and got that done right away before he even really took the deck off. And so I got some pictures here, just kind of the riprap. This is probably one of the longer bridges we have in the county. I don't think it's the longest. It's probably 280 feet. So it's a good sized structure. This is on Lexington Leroy, just south of Lexington. So you kind of can see this is on the north abutment there, and just pictures of riprap that was put in there. It's like 1,000 tons of riprap, I think, that they ended up putting in all down through here. And then and so then they came in and started removing the deck, and what they did is they basically cut it in like 6-foot squares. They hired a company to come in and basically saw cut it in 6-foot squares all along here, and then they started removing the deck that way, and you kind of can see there's a couple of saw cuts. And then And so here's where they're starting to take out each section of the bridge, and they tried to prevent, stuff from falling down in there. They started out where the rebar that was in here, that was as part of the concrete deck, was kind of right on top of the concrete beams. So it made it extra hard to get out. So they had to do some additional welding to cut that. And for whatever reason, the either settled during the pour, or they didn't have the right clearances between the beams and the actual rebar themselves. But I don't know, it took them a couple days to get this all out of there, and they just use a hi-ho and trucks. And so there's just kind of some more pictures of that. And then here's a picture of the whole thing removed. So, so they're already starting to form the deck, and it'll probably take a good month, I'm guessing, to get that formed before they can pour the deck out. So, they've had good weather so far, so they've moving along pretty good on this project.
Do we have any questions?
And then the next project is Seminary Street. They just started the work yesterday. They closed down the north part of the road, and so they're going to start doing some saw cutting today, and start on the storm sewer and that. So this is going from Franklin Street to 150 through Downs. And then one other project. It's not our project, but there is a project that is going on in Woodford County that's up near the Kappa Golf Course, and it kind of is an extension of our Kappa Road. They're doing a latex overlay, but the county engineer called me, and they are actually routing traffic on our county as a detour on our county highways. They didn't want to put the traffic on the township roads, and so that way the traffic can still get to the golf course and that. It's only supposed to take about 4 to 6 weeks, so hopefully they'll have this done and open back up here in no time. But just kind of wanted to make you aware, if you saw detour signs out in that part of the county, that it wasn't for our project, but it was for a Woodford County project. So they do have signs on our county highway.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Stokes? Nope. All right. Number 5, Department Matters. Administrator Taylor.
Thank you, Chair Rogal. I have no items to present to this committee today.
All right. Other business and communications. Our next meeting is May 7th, 2024 at 8 a.m. Does anybody have anything else? Nope. Seeing nothing else, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.